If you have to siphon some kind of liquid from one container to another, there's this awesome little tool that can save anything from ever having to touch your mouth. Hi, I'm Nika Waters, and welcome to the Boat Galley Podcast. Today I'm talking about a shaker siphon, which is a tool I didn't know existed until a very short time ago. Over the years of living on our sailboat, on and off, and getting ready right now to go cruising for an extended period of time, I've learned lots of tips and tricks that I love to share with people. It's one of the reasons that I do this podcast with Carolyn. It's also a reason that I've put together a course called the Self-Sufficient Galley, filled with all kinds of ideas to help you if you're overwhelmed by the idea of stocking up, storing food, and most of all, cooking that food. The tips and ideas that I share work whether you're talking about a small boat galley or even a galley, a kitchen at a home. And you'll find lots and lots of great ideas and ways to be self-sufficient, because a self-sufficient galley is a way to be confident around food, whether you're on land or on the water. There's a link to the course in the show notes. Check it out and let me know if you have any questions. Back to the shaker siphon, though. And I will say that it's not like I can think about all kinds of different times that we've had to siphon stuff on board. But when we have, it would be really nice to have a tool where you don't have to just stick your mouth on the end of a hose and suck and then not time it right and get that gross stuff coming out from whatever, whether it's gasoline or diesel or water from somewhere gross. The last time I had to siphon something before I discovered this tool was actually trying to empty an old washing machine of disgusting water. And yes, there might have been some gagging involved when that first gush of gross whatever came into my mouth, because it happened way faster than I could pull the hose away. Enter the shaker siphon. We first saw this tool that is basically a check valve attached to a long piece of clear tubing that was used on an episode of Sailing Solianis. And I think Kirk was siphoning diesel, and he kept his mouth clean. He kept his hands clean. And we saw this, and Jeremy immediately ordered two, one to be used with water and one to be used with gasoline or diesel. When you're using this tool, and it really looks like a piece of hose, it is a piece of hose with this check valve on the end of it. And just like with a regular basic siphon, there are some rules that you have to follow. You're going from some vessel of liquid that's higher, like geographically higher, vertically taller, because the siphon doesn't work uphill. But with the shaker siphon, you drop the shaker in, the part with the check valve, into the to-be-emptied container, while the other end goes into the vessel, the container that you're trying to put the liquid into. And you shake the siphon end in a rapid back and forth motion. You go along the axis of the hose. It's like you're shoving it back and forth. You can't wag it or swish it around. Basically, you're trying to force the liquid, let's call it water, into the hose, into the siphon, into that check valve. And then you watch the liquid start to flow, and it starts to come out and go into the thing that you're trying to fill up. You didn't have to suck anything. It's amazing. Your mouth is clean. It's awesome. We have used this tool so often since we moved aboard, because the water at the yard where we've been up until just about a week ago isn't great for drinking. So we fill a couple of jerry cans a couple times a week, and we decant it into our tanks. We actually just recently added a brand new addition to the whole thing when we got an extra long piece of tubing with a connector fitting, so we can leave the jerry jugs on deck, run the hose down below, and start the shaker siphon going. Don't even have to lug the jerry cans down below. It's also cool because that makes it go faster, because you're going from a higher level down to a lower level, and it makes it flow faster. But it's really incredible to have learned about this tool from watching sailing videos. And sailing videos aren't the be-all, end-all. They're not the best thing in the world. They don't tell you every single thing about the sailing lifestyle. Not at all. None of us could do that in whatever particular medium we happen to be sharing on. But we often learn about really cool tools by watching some of these videos, and this is absolutely a case in point. This is a small little tool that has earned absolutely a permanent place on board. I wonder what tools you've learned about from places that you might not consider, and whether you'll share those tools with us when we share an anchorage coming up sometime really soon. Thank you so much for listening to the Boat Galley podcast. We love hearing from our listeners. We love it when you share us with your friends. We love it when you leave us a great review. And we love it, of course, when you subscribe. Have the most spectacular week. We'll talk to you soon.